Hi friends, and welcome back to my kitchen and the UnShellfish Channel, where the goal is to just be tiny scientists and do the things that interest me and do them when I want to because I saw it and I wanted to do it and I had time to do it, and I'm sharing with y'all, and maybe it's something that you wanted to do. And hopefully along the way we learn a lesson or two, because what is life without learning lessons and then just a series of things that happen to us if we don't take anything from us? We're just living life, or it's being taken from us, and we're not living life and it's just being lived for us. So welcome to UnShellfish Channel. My name is Auntie Hannah and I like salt. This is an info dump on salt. You can't click away yet. You've already clicked the video. You have to commit to the video. So again, info dump on salt. So one of the rules that I set aside was for this channel was being a tiny scientist. One of the things I wrote down literally was embrace curiosity and question the mundane. So I'm going to tell you where all of this salt obsession started. I got sucked down the TikTok wormhole. And I was listening to all these neuroscientists and all these super smart people who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on student loans that they somehow make money to pay off, or don't. I don't fucking know, because I didn't take that risk. Claim. But also, so I was watching all these videos, and they're talking about how if I was going to tell you all these different things to do to be healthier, one of them is to remineralize words. Remineralize yourself. Words are hard. So he essentially said, get your face in the sunlight every morning, touch grass, breathe deep exercise, and then suck some salt down. And I'm like, wait a minute. But it kind of made sense. And I actually wrote down the types of salt he said. It was Baja Gold sea salt and Celtic sea salt, where it's a DHEA supplement. I'm putting words here, do your own research. I'm not your professor. I'm just a fellow tiny scientist. But that's what kind of started this whole rigmarole about salt. I'm like, what do you mean salt is the number one thing that you suggest after sunlight, touch grass, and exercise with breathing deep was to consume salt? I'm like, wait a minute, this is America. And in America, sodium salt is everywhere, and also shouldn't be everywhere. And we're going to get into that. So this is where it started. The next thing that happened was I was at lunch at work. And right now currently I'm paid to clean up spit and watch people's teeth get pulled. I'm a dental assistant. Currently. I'm not about to quit my job. But, currently. So I was at lunch, and my coworker, who actually went to student loans taken out, and she had to get a degree to clean teeth. Hi, children. Thank you for joining the debate. She opened up her LaCroix, no flavor, just carbonated water, and she just took a little salt shaker at the table. She just put a little bit of salt in there, and the bubbles and just the sound was just, ah. And I looked at her, and no judgment, because I saw something cool, and I'm like, you need to tell me what you just did, because I need to understand, because that's just how I am. And she was like, yeah, it's something with the sodium bicarbonate, and then you put, iodized salt in it, and just, it's science, and it's just better bubbles. And I'm like, I'm not judging. I need answers. So I still fully haven't looked up what it means, because there's been so much other research that I've been just generalizing about salt that was kind of a backseat. But we're going to do a tiny experiment together. So why don't you join me down here, Mike? This is literally my mic setup, because I'm not paying for anything else. Let's get a good 1-2-1-2. Gotta get that ASMR. And I got long nails, so you lucky I'm opening this can. Oh, love it every time. So this is what it sounds like. A couple of bubbles, not a lot. I'm just going to take the ittiest bit. This is literally just iodized salt. This salt supplies iodine, a necessary nutrient. So when I was talking about remineralization, it's a thing. Look it up, Also, I wish I owned a microscope, because you know how many things I would look under a microscope if I had one? But salt looks really cool under a microscope. I don't know. I'm gonna picture. So cool, right? Okay, so here's my off-brand Aldi's LaCroix. Mike, regular table salt. Down the hatch. I can hear it from. Oh, I hope to God y'all could hear that. And it's literally just like a margarita. You kind of just have a little bit of salt on the rim, and then, you didn't want salt in your pop, but you added it in. We bought specifically pop without salt, and then you put salt in it. I love it. So that was just, some stupid that I just thought was really cool. I'm not gonna ingest all that sodium in the front. I'm just going to wipe it on my pants because I'm civilized. I'm going to put this boom back because I don't need it anymore. All right, we're going to be talking about sodium chloride, salt. Essentially what salt is it's a soluble, which means it dissolves in water, these soluble compounds that are stuck together where it's a positive ion and a negative ion. Click on a science video, I'm not explaining it. It has a positive ion and a negative ion, and they stick together. And there's like different types of like these salt chemicals that I don't have retention for memory because I just recognize and remember things. I don't retain them. They just go like this. I just know something cool happened in between and I missed it. So this is positive ion, it's this negative ion, and it's sodium, it's chlorine. Sodium, chlorine. So that's typical table salt. So I think it's like a 40% ratio of sodium to 60% chlorine. You know that shit in your pool? Chlorine, same stuff. So it's a positive ion, it's a negative ion, and they stick together and they form crystals, which is pretty cool, yeah? So I'm actually going to read what I actually researched. I have 2 tabs open because I'm just getting so advanced with my technical skills. So salt, sodium chloride, has been used as seasonings for food for thousands of years. Cat wrangling. History has been intertwined with the development of civilization, and all life depends on its chemical properties to survive. Like, it's like a biological, like, down to the roots. Like, I'm sure smarter people could explain to you how salt and, like, water and sunshine literally are the beginnings and the endings of everything. But as far as I'm aware, salt water and sunshine are, like, Hakuna Matata. Like, it's this full circle of life. Like, salt is such a pivot. I don't have the knowledge to express to you how much I know salt is important, but I don't have the articulation to articulate. I'm just going to go through some of the cool things that I learned that salt can do. So essentially, humans found it in the dirt. Did you know that salt can be found in seawater? You know, like salt water, it's seawater, it's salty, it's soluble, it's in the water, and it's salty, and there are salt deposits. And they're giant rock crystals just laying about. I don't know why my consumerism brain just thought salt always just looked like this. You know, nice grained, but it's literally just, it's like flour. Like flour doesn't grow. Like it's like an end product. Like you have to grow the wheat and then grind it and then harvest and grind and then you get it's like the same with salt. Like it's an end product. Like it's, ta-da, here's all this hard work, but I just found in the dirt. I just brushed it off and ground it up in your food. So they're giant salt deposits. And, you know, and did you also know that like animals do salt deposit licks? Like that's the whole thing. That's another whole thing I researched is animals and doing salt licks. Like how deer hunters will literally put a giant thing of like mineralized salt licks. You can do it on Sims 3. For Sims 3 pets, you can literally buy a salt lick for your horse. It's a thing. Like you literally need some of the minerals in the salt to replace the minerals that your body normally does not produce. These cats, I swear, every time you know I'm filming, you're like, let's run. When humans first discovered salt, I could 100% be wrong, but I think they found it in salt deposits. And so it was harder to get. So it was super obscure and it was like currency. Scientists on the Wikipedia page debated that actually back in the days with Rome, the word salary comes from the word salt because like days sweat, here you get paid in salt. It's disputed by historians, but I thought that was cute. That salt, the Latin word for salt is sol, and then you like put that sol there, and now it's salary. So get your daily bread. Let's get some daily salt. Where's my saltery? Sorry, terrible joke. That wasn't even funny. But I mean, it was used through Greek civilization, Chinese civilizations, the Hittites, like Roman Republic, like all of it. People loved salt. I mean, it played power roles. Like you think about it, like if you're able to cure meat. So meat, like when you think about expansion in travel, I automatically think of like it's the Crusades and for the love of country, and because we're entitled to it, we're just gonna feed a bunch of these young men, and we're gonna march them across to almost probably never see home again, and we're gonna go fight people because they have stuff that we like. I'm going on this full rant tangent. I'm so sorry. But to expand, you needed feet, which caused movement to travel, and to have happy feet, you need to be fed. And so if you preserve meats and salts, you have a nice, besides just like potatoes and roots and like moldy bread and cheese, I'm like, I can also bring you meat. Feet, march, expand. You get it? Okay. Like full big hubs of civilizations sprung up because they were close to natural salt deposits. Cheshire salt mills in England, great example. Gabelle, here's the word, Gabelle for future Hannah who doesn't want to look that up. In France. was a very unpopular salt tax that was established during the mid-14th century and lasted with brief lapses and revisions through 1946. So there is this like 400-ish year-long 400 to 500-year salt tax on France, and I had to dig into it. But it wasn't just salt; it was like this ridiculous taxation on like everything and for like everything. And then because salt was heavily taxed, it was used for like cheeses and cooking, preserving food, and raising livestock. They use salt for all these things that normal people you got so many cucumbers, you need to pickle that shit. So a lot of like they couldn't use it for anything. Like they're literally taking away livelihood. So they're taxing this, and long story long, it essentially led to one of the reasons for the French Revolution, which literally salt brought down a dynasty, can raise and destroy dynasties. Is salt. So if anyone ever calls you salty, again, like salty, I'm taking that as a compliment. You know how many civilizations I've started and ended because of me? Yes, bitch, I'm salty. It's a compliment now. Brines, you can pickle stuff. It's a type of fermentation with vinegar and salt. I just made homemade cucumbers. Like, honestly, I might eat one for you guys just to be like flexing on y'all. But if you ever make homemade pickles, do not throw away that vinegar brine juice. I've used it in my eggs. I've used it in my rice. I use it in my tuna that I eat every day for lunch. Like, it is pure season heaven. I literally have a jar of pickle juice that I made that I'm using for seasoning that isn't being touched. Like, it's literally there for seasoning. Yes, I know my ring. Hold up. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my pickle juice. Let me tell you, if you need some seasonings and you don't want to add anything but one thing, make yourself some pickle juice. Make yourself first, get you some cucumbers. Sometimes you just need to eat a whole cucumber. Make it into pickles. I promise you, it is the easiest thing. The hardest thing about making pickles is waiting, because I had to wait a week. My coworkers will attest. I was talking nonstop about these pickles. I was like, these pickles need to hurry up. But yeah, you need salt to pickle and preserve to keep stuff nice on the shelf. It is just, don't judge it. It's beautiful. They used it in trade. It was highly valued commodity, and it was a form of currency that some societies, that we hypothesize, that we think in our dirt and sticks that we dig up, that they use with their texts that we've translated. Who knows? History's weird. Salt is used in folklore. I was raised in a cult, and so naturally I gravitated to the occult. And I don't know if you've ever seen any scary movies about making like a salt circle and like wanting to summon a demon, and you can't break the salt circle. Apparently that's a thing, I didn't truly look into it anymore because as much as I love all things spooky and occulty, my algorithm can't handle much more. Like, I don't need anything else in my search history. I also looked up why ice melts the snow. And ice does not melt the snow. I'm just going to read what it says because words. Road salt, or sodium chloride, works by lowering the freezing point of water, causing ice to melt even when the temperature is below water's freezing point of 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius. Essentially, it lowers the freezing point to negative 21 degrees Celsius or negative 6 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's awesome, but because it's water soluble, I know people are saying that they don't like using the salt anymore because all that water and salty solution water runs into our ecosystem and rivers, and you're literally like hurting stuff because they don't need all that saltiness. Use salt in hospitals. I don't know if you use that, but saline. Nurse, 10 cc's of saline stat. It's literally just water, purified, clean water, with like no bacteria. That's salty. And they use that to, flush. I've literally, we pull out teeth at work, and my old job, we have like even my current job, like we have saline baths. Like, it's a thing. I did another experiment for salt, was that, I don't know about anyone else, but in the Midwest season, it is hay fever up your nose. And I was gunky, still gunky, AF, and I literally did saltwater gargles for like 3-4 days. And I promise you, it was like, I think I need to go to the pop-up clinic. And now I'm like, I can sleep throughout the night. I think I'm going to be okay. So like saltwater gargles, warm, not hot, warm saltwater gargles. I've done the experience myself. Actually works. Let's see. Also, if you have too much salt, it's not good for your heart health. So like, watch out for that pizza and them chips. I can't say anything. I ate an entire thing of not off-brand Pringles yesterday that was like salt and vinegar. My adult taste buds are coming in because young Hannah would have never, ever picked them salt and vinegar chips. But I was like, you know what? I think I need some of that salt and vinegar fake Pringles because that's what's going to bring me the most dopamine for $1.25. Salt and vinegar off-brand Pringles. They were really good. They were really good. So if you have too much sodium, that can lead to hypertension and cardiovascular disease. It's like, what is it, like the number 1 or 2? It's like in the top 5 killers in America is Americans having too much sodium in their diet. I went on a whole, like, scare myself reading on having too much sodium in your system. I've already done it with sugar. You know, in the past couple of years, I've just, like, scared myself to being afraid of sugar. And I almost scared myself into, like, not eating enough sodium. So, like, balance, children. They also think, so not only does it affect your body, it affects, you know, the pressure system of your heart. They also think that it leads to human psychological impacts on human health. So, like, chronic high intake of dietary salt consumption is associated with hypertension, cardiovascular disease, but also they think it, like, imbalances the chemicals in your brain that can lead to, like, other mental, emotional illnesses. Because the chemical imbalance in your body, because your body's an entire just tiny ecosystem that has balance, that needs balance. And if it's out of balance, you know, everything changed when the sodium nation attacked. Like, it goes out of balance. They have a whole evolutionary system in your body. It's called the or RAS system is a hormone system that regulates the blood pressure, fluid and electrolyte balance, and system vascular resistance. So literally, it creates your hormones. If your salt for your hormones is off, your hormones are going to be off. I don't know if anyone knows anything about, like, hormone irregularity, but it leads to, like, most mental issues. So, like, bad salt, bad vibes, it's a thing. Osmosis. You know, here's a cool picture of osmosis. I remember doing these science experiments. Read a book. So you can, like, dehydrate water from the ocean and get salt. You can mine it. And, you know those giant salt rock caves? This isn't a hollow earth theory. No, it's not a hollow earth theory. But, like, look at this cave. That's pretty cool. Like, whole types of salt. It's not sodium chloride as we know it, but it's a type of salt. You know, they're just giant salt crystals. So you can float on salt. So anyone who watched Stranger Things, that was a pretty popular TV show. For season 1, where she needed to, like, go into a meditative trance, and they took all the road salt. They made sensory deprivation tanks. Same thing. You can float on salt. You can use it for skincare. You can make salt scrubs. I prefer a sugar scrub, but, like, you can make a salt scrub, I guess. Salt and LaCroix makes it bubbly. I'm literally just reading all the list of things. Like, the top of this document, salting and infodemic. No, it's the wonderful world of salt. Off the top of my head, things I think about when I think about salt and things I've learned about salt. Like, the wonderful world of salt. So I'm just going through this document together. Literally have a whole thing for mineral salt licks. I've already gone on that rant. Oh, here's why they need salt licks. Natural salt licks are common, and they provide essential elements such as phosphorus and biometals, such as sodium, calcium, iron, zinc, and trace elements required for bone, muscle, and other growth in herbivorous animals such as deer, moose, elephants, hippos, rhinos, giraffes, zebras, wildebeest, tapirs, woodchucks, fox, squirrels, mountain goats, porcupines, and fugitive bats. Salt licks. But I was looking into just salt stuff, and my YouTube algorithm got reshuffled to show me new things because it's a machine trying to keep me occupied with my time, so I don't do other things that I would like to do. So therefore, I'm making videos to put on YouTube to take up my time doing the things I wanted to do. Hopefully, y'all get some dopamine watching me talk about and be sarcastic on screen. So my YouTube algorithm showed me you can make salt crystals. It's a science experiment you can do at home with your loved ones. And it's not, technically, you can make salt. This is coarse sea salt. I like to use it on my special fancy gourmet cookies. This is iodine salt. I use it for everything else. It's 66 cents today, or it was yesterday when I went to my local Aldi's. Nuts. So it's relatively cheap. There's another type of salt that I have in my home. Borax. We make our own laundry detergent in this house because Tide can kiss it. It's a long story long. We make our own detergent. And I don't know if you can see that. That's literally our laundry detergent. And there's a little tablespoon in there, and we just plop a couple. And this cost me $30 to make with all the raw ingredients for years. Years of laundry soap. Don't even get me started. Topic. Borax. This is, I read the front, so I did lots of research, y'all. Borax In 1881, borax was discovered in Death Valley, California. A team of 20 mules formed a 100-foot-long team and took 10 days to transport 10 tons of borax from the remote mines of Death Valley to the railroad so it could be boxed and used in homes all across America. Fucking heroes. Every time. More than 100 years later, borax is still focused on delivering the natural clean homes forever. Borax is made of one ingredient with 3 naturally occurring elements: boron, sodium, and oxygen. This natural multi-purpose cleaner has many uses, including carpet fresheners, wiping down surfaces, cleaning smelly shoes, boosting laundry, and so much more. If you are not on Team Borax and you have anything to clean, I highly suggest you get on Team Borax. This box was like $6, $7. I got it at Myers. I've seen it at Walgreens, Walmart. I always get those confused. Seen it at Walmart. I've seen it at Target. Get Borax in your life because, like, he's a G. So when I found out that YouTube provided for me on my YouTube doorstep that you could literally take borax and boiled water and you could grow your own crystals, I did an actual primal scream. Ah! What are those? Sorry, I know my children are screams now. I did one of those. I'm like, what? So, I didn't film it because it was Friday the 13th and you couldn't get me to do anything. My energy was sapped. So that's what this little guy is. He was just a little pot, and I'm going to show you the picture of what it looks like. Ta-da! But here's my little owl. You can see the little salt crystals growing on him. But whenever y'all need to decorate some decor and really kick it up a notch, you can always dip it in borax for a couple hours, and you can get salt crystals. So that was pretty cool. I also did the fox. He's a little bit chunkier in the face. Like, it's not as, like, smooth in the application, but he's still frosty. He's still keeping it frosty. His back is nice and coated. But I just thought, it was a cool experiment. I made salt crystals. Salt crystals. I made salt crystals at home. Clap for me. That's cool as shit. So I think I'm going to end it here. I don't know why this video had to happen, except that part of the whole spiel is question the mundane. And salt was feeling mundane to me, but also very important. So I needed to do a little bit of research for moi, and y'all needed to hear about it because, well, like, I hope these friends enjoyed my salt dump. The salt deposit. Just laid on the table for y'all. So yeah, salt's pretty cool. I hope y'all appreciate salt. I hope y'all don't eat too much salt. I hope y'all eat just enough salt. I hope that, when the world finally collapses and we go back to making sense, that is a total joke. When the modern society collapses and everyone goes back to being outside of the matrix, maybe we'll get paid in salt again. Whenever someone calls you being salty, say thank you. I do need to remineralize. I was looking a little pinched, so I appreciate you noticing my lack of sodium. Also, take it with a pinch of salt means, don't believe everything you read, like on the internet. So, take it with a pinch of salt. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this info dump. I hope you appreciate salt a little bit more. Try the LaCroix in your salt. Try borax and salt crystals. Try the salt gargle rinse if you got like the phlegm where you think you're about to get strep, but you don't have any body aches or fever. You're just sick of the sinus. Salt water gargle. We do it 3 times a day. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Interact with the video. Let's be a community. Let me know if you do any salt experiments. What's your favorite salt experiment? What cool facts about salt do you want to info dump on me? Yeah. Happy late Friday the 13th, y'all. And I'm gonna finish my LaCroix. Ugh. Just carbonated water.